This is Jeff Tamburello, a real estate broker for Steelbridge Realty, here to give you the 2013 Lee County, Florida residential market in review. Disclosure, it's my work done for me and shared with you. I do this really to keep me up to date with the market. Information came from multiple sources: Lee County Clerk of the Court, City of Cape Coral, the Census Bureau, and the MLS. 5 things you need to know about 2013. Foreclosures assume the new normal status. I really think our channel for foreclosures going forward is going to be 200 to about 350, and I think they're going to bounce in and out of that until we over leverage and then correct. Total list pendants called to mortgage foreclosures. This just shows you the entire trend of what we went through to give you some perspective on where we are within the foreclosure trend. Because for a number of years, from essentially 07 until about 2012, the foreclosures were the primary driver in our market. Investment yields are starting to compress. There's the age-old battle of price versus value. In 2009 and 10, I had clients reporting to me that they were getting anywhere from 6 to 9% a year cash on cash. We're seeing, when we put properties in our spreadsheets, it's now in Lehigh Acres and Cape Coral, which were in kind of hotbeds for investor activity. We're seeing 3.5%, 4.5% a year cash on cash returns right now. New construction is already gaining market share, particularly within the gated communities. We did a study on Moody River Estates, and 46 of the there were 46 recorded sales last year, and 69% of those were new home sales. And they have a lot more contracts, and they're building a lot more. This is just what was actually recorded and delivered. D.R. Horton in Moody River is delivering new construction product at or near the cost of resale homes. And I took a look at Bellaterra. It looks a lot like it. The builders are really driving it. It's fascinating to watch, and it should spread from the gated communities out into just the scattered lots at some point as well. The market grew and the price grew last year. We had 12% more volume, actual dollars moving through the market. Median price was up almost 17%, and the average was up 11%. A couple other noteworthy things: 60.7% of the sales were cash. That's pretty good. Nationally, it's 25%. And our distress percentage was 21.9%, which is down. The previous year, it was 31.8%. And at 21.9% of the sales counts being distressed, they really can't drive the market anymore. It's traditional activity that's driving the market. Bubbles of activity within the market. 75,000 in 2012 is pretty much where all the action was. All the action now is 125 with a little bump in the 90s as well. Some market specifics. Property types are changing. Single family percentages of the market are down, while the condo type assets are trading at a much higher percentage within the market. Particularly villa attached, manufactured homes are up. All this to me points to more retirees as a percentage buying within the market. Just a snapshot of 2012. I'm not really going to bore you with all the specifics. Snapshot of 2013. Not going to bore you with all the specifics on that. Differences. The average price went up 2.7%. Sanibel doesn't have a lot of counts, but it actually blew up year over year. North Fort Myers went up, prices went down. There was a bunch of distressed activity in North Fort Myers. It was one of the last pockets of distressed activity. Things to watch in 2014. You're going to have a seesaw effect, resale versus new construction. And kind of pointing back to Moody River as to that. If the builder raises prices, it makes the resales more competitive, and if the resale market gets much more expensive, the new builder product becomes very competitive, and it's going to be an ebb and flow back and forth. Inventory is our biggest issue. In most active price points, it is now a seller's market. Cape Coral's permit growth is slowing by percentages. Please note this is data for their fiscal year. It's still growing, but you have to understand the percentage of growth dropped slightly. For the last 2 months, it was up year over year. So this is more of a lagging indicator, and this should tell us by June, July, the Cape Coral permit counts, what the growth rate in Cape Coral is doing. The effect of retirees on our macroeconomic picture. I'm seeing interest rates rising, or a lot of talk of interest rates rising, which would hurt mortgage buyers, but would help retirees because they could get sustainable yields for their cash on hand. Also, prices up north are starting to go back up, which is going to allow more retirees to cash out and head south. We're also seeing within people we're doing business with, the mass cancellations and rewriting of health insurance is having two effects. If they're not making a lot of income, they're actually getting a subsidy for their health insurance, which helps them to have a little more money to retire. And those that are making significant income, some of their health insurance is going up, which is causing some of them to wait until age 65 to retire. It's going to change how some of them, some of the baby boomers retire to warmer climates. It's definitely something worth watching. Some work we did on the census numbers of what we did is we took the birth rate from 62 years and carried it forward. It really kind of gives you where we're going and what's happening. March of 08 is when our market turned, and that's right when the baby boom began. This little flattening out dip here is the Korean War. At 65, just give you an example, if the current trends of more people waiting towards 65, it's going to kind of push the peak of the retiree wave back 3 years. One thing to watch is the prices from mid-04 to 07 were primarily driven by leverage. And it's really, you have to watch the banks and easy leverage to understand when it's going to happen again. And it's really about when, as easy credit hits the market, our market will probably hit unsustainability again. We're at a point right now where I see nothing but a large amount of cash sales, a large amount of equity. We've corrected up to the point of replacement costs in a lot of markets. Some markets still have not. You can still buy a house in Lehigh Acres at a much cheaper price than it would cost to replicate it. So, but going forward for pricing, you really have to watch the banks and what they are planning on doing. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, why don't you give me a call, 239-671-8248. Thank you.